Okay, can everybody hear me okay out there? Uh, I hope I've got everything turned on, right? Can everybody out there hear me? Give me an okay if you can hear me. All right, thanks. All right, well, I'm glad to see John Cook, see Granny out there, Mike, Kim. Let's see, John Cook, uh, Joy Sada, uh, Helen, John Sims, Tank Girl. Uh, I'm surprised so many showed up so quick. I didn't give much warning out there. I felt pretty good today, so I thought I get on here and give you a kind of a little bit of an update. I spent 6 weeks uh, at a RV resort down there outside of the villages in Florida, and had a great time. I got to visit with Lisa and Gabe, Tori, Kim, Jean, or Jeannie, as everybody knows her. Uh, let's see. I don't want to forget too many. Leslie and Mike. Jeannie's parents are about my age. Uh, I know some of you know Jeannie here in the background a lot of times on Lisa's channel. She's a pretty sweet person, and right now she's getting some help that she needed, and hopefully everything's going well with her. I didn't take a trip out, to Otter Creek. Part of it was I really didn't know how well I might be received out there. Uh, I figured that, with the court ban, there's no real reason for me to go out there and, as an outsider, and think I can change anything in the town. I think the people out there are handling it the best they can, and they really don't need me in there to intervene on anything out there. It'd be a little different if I was going to move to town. I would certainly want to be a part of it. But in real terms, I'm an outsider, interested in what's going on there, and want to see only the best for all of you out there in Otter Creek. And I'll pray for what I've been doing for a couple of years now. And it looks like people are getting used to how it is, or else they're able to live with how it is. And it seems like the town is running. And I mean, what am I going to do differently? And I'm not laughing at the town or anything. I'm just looking at it as, as logically as I can. I see G Sky there. Glad to see there. Let's see. I'll try to go over a few things, and then I'll look at the chat and try to chat back and forth with you if that's okay. I don't want to leave any of you out. So if I miss seeing what's going on, just reiterate it when I get back to the chat. While I was in Florida, Gabe had a birthday, and Lisa had a birthday, and I got invited to both of them, and got to eat all I wanted. Man, I was so full after the party that it was hard for me to stand up. And the hosts were gracious. They have a really a nice home there in the villages. And be invited to a couple of birthday parties so quickly was really something. They even speeded it up a little bit so I could be there for Gabe's, and I was very appreciative of it. We become friends. And by the way, I got to go out and see Robbie at his sanctuary. And that is a masterpiece out there. Uh, he works 24/7 on it, and is doing a great job. And I can't believe all the things that he's collected over the years. I a little bit. It's been, when I walked in there, I was so surprised, and he can tell you a story about everything that's there. And I'm talking, it would take me, I don't think I could go through it in a year, the things that he's collected around the world. There's more to Robbie than just the sanctuary there. I can tell you that. He is, in my world, he's someone to look up to. A very intelligent person, and very dedicated to the things that he's doing. In my mind, I consider it, he's doing God's work in the preservation out there in that sanctuary. It is a hard job. You can't imagine, this guy's running from daylight to daylight. I mean, from dawn in the morning till nighttime, and sometimes at night too. And I don't know how he does it all. I have no idea. I know that I couldn't do it, but there's a lot of things I can't do anymore. There's a lot of things I want to do, but I'm busy with the things that I can do. And when you get up here, you have to be satisfied with whatever your status is at the time to live in this old world. I did get out to see a lot of restaurants, and man, the food was fantastic. You know, it's been, about 20 years since I was down in Florida, and I'd forgotten how it was. And I'd been in a few places near the villages down there. My brother used to live not too far from there. So I was able to see him while he was still here. And I did do some work for the nuclear plant down there quite a few years ago, more like 40 years ago. Not a whole lot of other things. A lot of the people in the company I work for retired there in Florida. I haven't seen them in a number of years, although I was aware where they were and was able to contact them up to about 10 years ago. As time goes on, people go on to other places. A lot of them, thankfully, go to spend time with the Lord. Let's see, what else can I talk about? The 6 weeks was well spent. As you know, last year was the roughest year of my life. And it still bothers me, and I do everything I can to keep from getting to not turning into a crybaby or things like that. It's very hard to think about my wife without missing her. And one of the things that when I come back here after that vacation was the house felt extremely empty. The feeling was different. And I guess it was because during the vacation, my mind was on a lot of other things. Everybody went out of their way to keep me occupied. And the treatments I got down there were I just can't describe it. People at I was with down there at the resort, the people I met in restaurants, the stores, it was more than a vacation. It was the entertainment and just being able to interface with people that I haven't done in a long time. Sorry about that. I had a phone call. The truck run fine while I was down there. The weather was hot. I can tell you, if you're going to run around the car, make sure your air conditioner works. But we sit out in the evening a lot of times on the patio there. And then early in the mornings, I'd sit out there quite a few times for an hour, just relaxing and trying to figure out what I wanted to do in the day. I didn't get in a hurry about anything, nothing. I just took it as it came. It was truly a vacation. And the way it came about, I've been in torment for a long time, just because of my wife's passing. And I just kind of flippantly said I wouldn't mind going to Florida. And my daughter would happen to be here when I said it, and said she would like to go too. I thought about it a while. And I didn't know if she was joking or not, but I said, well, if you really want to go, I'll plan it and we'll go. And she said she was serious. And I said, well, okay, go home, think about it, talk with your family, whatever, and you get back with me. Well, meanwhile, I went out and started looking for a travel trailer. And I had in mind what I wanted, just very simple, minimal, least amount I can spend. I'm not going to be using it a whole lot, so there's no reason to spend a lot. And I never planned on using an RV again when I sold our motorhome. So I found one that fit the plan and brought it home and found out that, well, while my wife was alive, I bought an older truck because it would be easy to work on. And even though it's an older truck, it looks like brand new. It only had 61,000 miles on it. It was over 20 years old. It's easy to work on. V8, it's all the things you can get on them back in 2002. And I brought the trailer home, and I thought, boy, that's kind of underpowered, even though it had a V8. And it didn't stop like I wanted it to stop. So next thing I did is I went out and I found a pickup truck, and I found one with a pretty good sized motor. It's got a 6.2 in it. So it's the same thing that's in the vets. It'll get up and go. It's around 400 and some horsepower. And it does. You can smoke the tires on it. It's 4-wheel drive. It is a crew cab. So I had a lot of room in there, and I had a tonneau cover, and it had all the stuff. So if I'm pulling the trailer, it automatically works the brakes of the trailer for you. And it drove like a dream. My daughter had never pulled a trailer before. And so I drove the first couple hundred miles, I guess. And then I handed it over to my daughter, and she took off like she'd been driving a truck and trailer all her life. It surprised the heck out of me. So I shouldn't have been surprised, because she's kind of a get up and go type person that if she says she's going to do it, she's a lot like her mother. She's going to do it. And we hit New Orleans the second night on the road in a storm that you wouldn't believe, and she was driving, and she couldn't see 3 foot in front of her. So as soon as we found a place where we could pull over, and we were right in New Orleans when all that happened, by the way, I took over and I couldn't see either. And so I drove pretty slow, and we looked for a place that we could spend the night. And I can't believe it. We found one of those, they call them Love Station. That's the name of it. And they happen to have hookups for RVs there. And there was 2 hookups left. And so we got one of them and spent the rest of the night sleeping, and had our supper meal there at that station. It had all kinds of food and clean. I mean, it was nice. And then rested up good, and then took off the next day. We were on the road all total about 3 days going down, trading back and forth every 3 or 4 hours, so that neither one of us would get overwhelmed. The roads weren't too bad, not as much construction as what I thought there'd be. And the construction we hit was okay. It was no big deal. Let's see what else on the way down there. Can't really think of a whole lot on the way down there. I took my mind off from things, because when you're driving down there, you got to watch what you're doing. And then when you arrive down there, everything's new to you. So, and you go to the different stores and restaurants, and there's always something up, and it keeps you occupied mentally and physically. And was it worth it? Yeah. So my title was it worth it, or something to that effect on here. I needed it. Now, the fact that, when I got back here, I told you the house felt empty, and it does. It feels empty. there's bits of my wife all over within this house. And her big thing was notes. She always wrote everything down, notes everywhere for everything that she was doing in her life. And about the time I was really getting uh, actually pretty moody, I found a little tablet and, full of her notes. And so, yeah, my wife, pieces of my wife are still here. So I still have those reminders to help me get over to some of the rough spots. Um, and I guess what I'm saying is I was able to relax. Physically, I feel much better. I've been able to get some sleep that I wasn't doing too well before. I'm, I don't know what to say other than I would say the boost has been wonderful. I wish I could do it more often and go more places. One thing I learned was that without having somebody with me to help me, any adventure like that would not be as easy. The driving itself, as long as I only drive 3 or 4 hours, I think I can do fine. But I think that when it gets into dusk and things like that, it's a little hard. And people my age may think that they can do about anything. But there's a time where you have to draw a line and say, I'll do what I'm capable of. But if there's any doubt at all, I want to withdraw from it enough to where I'm comfortable. And I'm afraid that my driving days would be maybe 4 or 5 hours at the most. I would never drive the amount of hours that I was on the road on this vacation. Like I can take the trailer and go to a lake somewhere in Iowa or maybe a state away and do a little fishing, things like that. But any long trips, I think it would absolutely take help. Now, my son-in-law gave up his vacation and came down there to help us drive back. Now, last year, when my wife was, she'd come home for a week in between hospital stays, and he took a vacation and was here for that week plus time after that when my wife went back in the hospital. While he was here, he took care of a lot of the chores that I normally would have. My son-in-law, 2 years in a row now, has graciously given up his vacations, and I can't thank him enough for doing that. And I can't thank him enough for loaning his wife, my daughter, to me as a driver going down to Louisiana. And also, they did the majority of the driving when we came back. And they did it with a smile, and I really hope they enjoyed themselves. I hope it was really worth all of it. They had postponed opening up their pool this year until they could get down there and then get back up here. So this last week, they've been opening up their pool and getting it ready for their grandkids and kids. They have a pretty good sized family, and they all sacrifice for me. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. And my son called multiple times while I was down in Florida, and when I got back here. So it's nice to know you're missed. And my neighbors were happy to see me when I got back. One of my neighbors took care of my lawn. It looks like a golf course out there. That's how this guy is meticulous. I just can't say enough for it. So the whole thing turned out great. Now, the fact that I come home to an empty house and it felt that way, that's just, I know that I'll have to get used to it eventually. I'll never get used to it not having my wife. That's a fact. And I wish she could have been with us to enjoy it. And it is hard to talk about her not being here. It is very hard. And that's really about the scope of the whole thing. There was a lot of people I wanted to see that I didn't get a chance to. I thought heavily about going to Otter Creek while I was down there because it was the subject of a lot of my videos in the past few years. But they're doing better down there, I think. And I don't know if I could help them in any way. There obviously there's a lot of people I'd like to meet. I'd like to meet John. I'd like to meet Joy. She's from down there. I'd like to meet Marla. There were so many people that I didn't get a chance. There was somebody, one of my subscribers, Pat. I was going to go and have a lunch with her and her family, and I didn't get around to that either. Things towards the end things were getting in a hurry. It's just you plan stuff out and it doesn't always come around. It just there's a lot of things that can stop you or deflect it. Other things. Oh, one thing I want to tell you. The sanctuary down there with Robbie. He has, all ages and stages of animals and reptiles down there. And there was lemurs that actually met us near the gate. They were not very old. They were not the last batch that he's had. He's got two brand new ones when we got down there that were on their mother's back being carried around, and they were in an enclosure. But until they're a year old, they're small enough they can get out through, and they're all over the area down there. It is fantastic. I just never dreamed of what it could be, and I can see why Robbie and his family love that work down there. I can't imagine them ever doing anything different, and they have what it takes to carry through on something like that. It's a big responsibility, and they don't take it lightly. They're very diligent, and the people that assist Robbie and his family down there are they have his attitude. So yeah, I learned a lot. And as old as I am, I actually learned. So contrary to some people out there, you're never too old to learn. Now, I don't know what you have to give up to put something in the noggin up there. Maybe you got to give up a little and then you get a little. I don't know. But the friendships I made will be the lifetime friendships. And the ones that were pretty much social keyboard friends have turned into people I met face to face, and they're my friends now, just as if I'd known them all my life. To be invited into people's homes and to do things with them. One night there when, for Lisa's party, we had a big table full of people. Everybody was conversing with each other, and the people that waited on the tables and everything were just super nice. They did have a band going off to one corner over there, so it was kind of hard to really do a whole lot of talking. You had to almost yell. I guess that's what makes it so much fun. Oh, okay. Well, unless I can think of something else, that's about it. What I'll do is I'll kind of go over some of the things here in the chat. I see two Lees. I'm glad to see you, Lisa. And I miss you and Gabe. And of course, Tori, too. I hate to see Tori have to go home and not enjoy a longer vacation down there. But I know she comes down and has to work while she's there, too. It was nice meeting her husband, Jeff. Tell Gabe hi for me. Tell him I wish he was up here having coffee with me in the mornings. And if nothing else, we could go out and find some pizza somewhere around here. Although I doubt if it'd be as good as some of that I had down there. And if you get a chance, tell Jeannie, I hope she's doing okay. I miss hearing her down there. She's such a sweet gal, and her parents were so nice. I'm sure glad that I had the opportunity to meet that family, and I can understand why you like it down there, you and Gabe. John, sorry I didn't get a chance to see you. I had decided not to take that trip up to Otter Creek. If I ever go back again and things, aren't like they were, maybe I would stop. I just want to keep everything on the level if possible. Monica says, I think she was with you in spirit, right? I think my wife was. Otherwise, I couldn't have had as good a time as I did. Like I say, I wish she would have been alive so she could have been with me down there. And even though the house felt empty, I found that little pad with notes in it. So I realized that part of her is everywhere in this house. So I'll enjoy it. Joy, I wish I could have met you. I know I talked earlier about hoping to meet you. But maybe next time, if there is one. No promises because it took quite a bit of planning this time and a lot of work to put it together. uh, Granny Kathy, glad to see you in there. Lemurs are so much fun. Yes, they are, Kimberly. You had to see it to believe it. They came to greet us at the gate, came to greet us, along with Z. When they see Z going somewhere and he's out there in front, they're right there. uh, let's see. Kimberly, babies. Oh, yeah. Oh, let's see. Lucinda, too bad you have to go incognito to take a vacation. You drove right by I'm right on 110, 112, 155. Oh, heck. I'll be darned. Sorry about that, Lucinda. I wish I would have seen you. Certainly would do. There's always another time, John said. Yes, there is. And good Lord willing, we'll try to make that time. I'm hoping that Lisa and Gabe will make a trip up here. I should certainly like to show them as good a time as they showed me. They opened their home up completely. Told me I was welcome anytime, and said I could use a room in their house anytime, which is it's quite a bit. But they're welcome to come here and use a room in my house and sit down at the table with me anytime. It's night or day. And if you're in the area, you too, I'd be upset if you didn't stop. Yeah, Jules is quite a pup. I have never seen a pup like that is so lovable. She loves everybody, and she knows who they are. What a pup! She's really a smart puppy. Let's see, a little bit two leaves. Even if Gabe has to fly to him and drive, 2 leaves of pot, he would. Yeah, you know something. If you guys fly up here, I'll give you enough coffee to last you a month. And you know what Lisa did to me? She got me hooked. I sat at the table, and they were going to give me a glass of something to drink. Well, I got the wrong glass. I got Lisa's. And it's a peach drink. It's not alcohol. It's Snapple type. What is it? Anyway, I'm not sure what the full name is. I know how. I bought some. I got some in my refrigerator right now. Anyway, it tastes like peaches. It really tastes like ripe peaches, and I love them. And so, ever since then, I've been drinking it every single day. Lisa, you did that to me, but at least it didn't have alcohol. It was just straight stuff. So, yeah, Lucinda says I'm glad it was a safe one. It was a very safe trip. I couldn't be happier with the way people were on the road, in the stations, the restaurants, the people I'd never met before that were just bent over backwards to make everything go right. At the resort we were at there, they didn't get one blade of grass on my trailer when they mowed around it. Didn't disturb anything. Didn't gripe about anything I was doing. The office knew me, my name, and where I was at. I didn't have to tell them. Only the one I tricked in that one time. After that, they knew me. So little bit says got to start dinner for the hubby. Okay, but you're going to be listening. Okay, that was a little bit. Um, Ray, just don't go into Lisa's dungeon. Hey, listen, I was in her garage and didn't have any problems in there. So uh, if you're afraid of her garage, don't be. She hangs out there for the live shows and so does her guests. So and she makes room for them, and she's got a brand new air conditioner in there, so it's nice and cool now. Tease Gem says hi, sweet ray of sunshine. Thank you. Let's see. Snapple, yes, that's Snapple. Snapple Diet Peach, and it is. But I don't take the diet one. I take the regular Snapple Peach. Two Lisa's. Uh-oh. Let me tell you, there's different things. They ordered some New York pizza, and it was great. And probably the only way I'm going to get it again is I'm going to have to either drive out to New York or I'm going to have to drive down there and find out where they got it down there in Florida. But it was great. And my daughter and I and son-in-law, we had plenty of pizza while we were down there. And that one day, Gabe come over and asked if we were hungry. He went and got some pizza and brought it over. And oh man, that was some of the best that had. And it was a little thicker, but yeah, lots of surprises, lots of good times. While we were there, Gabe and Gabe's he's quite a jokester. But anyway, we were at the party, and he decided to hammer the drum, and he did it. And my daughter turned around and smacked him. So he said she's got a pretty good. I think it's the left, but sounded like a shotgun going off. So you have to be careful that you get around the drums. You're going to hear some drumming down there. Let's see, and a huge TV on their wall, and then a couch or davenport. I guess couch goes around. I mean, it's big. I think you can sleep 2 or 3 people on it. It's so big. Wraps around the most living room. So it's really done up nice. A big kitchen in there. And at their place, you don't have to worry about cooking or anything. They roll out the red carpet for you, and they feed you plenty. And they don't do the bum's rush on you to get you out of there. They'll keep you there till 3 a.m. if you're willing. So the first time we went over there, I think it was 2 or 3 a.m. before we left. I'm not sure, but it was late. So we had to adjust our hours a little bit. That's why I've got so much gray hair. Yeah, Granny, the Snapple Peach. I'm telling you, you're gonna like it, and I won't be the only one addicted to it. If you pick it up and start, I won't feel so bad about it. See, now it's got a hold of me more than beer ever did. So that's how addictive it is. Mike says his wife loves that too. I'm glad, Mike. It is a good drink. I don't think anybody wouldn't like it. It surprised me. I took a drink of it, and I thought, oh man, it tastes like fresh peaches. It just does. Yeah. That's what it is. Tea with peach in it. So, Granny. Okay. Tell them you're there because of Lisa Lee. She sent you. we could put her in business on that stuff. Oh heck! I hope you guys. I hope I didn't take you guys away from anything today by just all of a sudden going on here. I thought I haven't done one of these in a while, and I was in a pretty good mood today, so it was probably the right time to just get on here and BS a little bit, tell you how much fun I had. And it's not like setting a new leaf or anything like that. It's just going out there and enjoy stuff that's out there. This past year has been such a downer. And to be able to go out there and take 6 weeks out of my life and just enjoy people, enjoy things and places, what a difference. It changes your attitude. I even started eating more. I gotta knock that off. I didn't gain weight or anything like that, but I did eat more. But I'm busier, so I'm using some of that those calories up at the same time. And today or this afternoon, I'll probably get out there and mow my grass for the first time in almost 2 months. So, not that I'm looking forward to that. Maybe it's a good thing I'm on here. I'm getting lazy. Yeah, there you go, Granny. Maybe they will sponsor. Yeah, Lisa, you could be a sponsor for that stuff. Matter of fact, you could be a sponsor for a lot of things. Between you and Gabe knowing about the different places to eat and stuff, if they had to hire you guys. Ray told us is happy you had a good time. I did. I would tell anybody that wants to get away for a while, it's a good place to go. And the Villages is really big. We were only 5 minutes from the Spanish Springs or whatever it's called. I think it was one of the first ones that was built there. Monica says, so nice to catch you on, Ray. Well, I haven't been on a live in a long time, Monica. I don't know how many I'll do. It's hard to come up with things to talk about. I mean, here I am talking, and it took me 6 weeks of doing something in another state just to come back here to be able to talk about something for an hour. I just run out of subjects real quick. Helen, do you visit a beach? I didn't visit a beach down there. We were going to stop in Mississippi there. You can actually pull up with your RV. There are places that you can possibly spend the night where you can pull over. And, they have some white beaches there, just like they do in Florida. The last beach I've been on in Florida was at Fort Myers. I stayed at a high-rise motel on the beach, and it was great. I was down there. My brother had some health issues, and I went down there during spring break, and it was wall-to-wall college kids, and I'm no spring chicken. But they didn't seem to mind. Back then, I had to have a few beers and some mixed drinks, and I was able to drown out the noise pretty quick. They had bands all over the place, and people yelling and screaming and running up and down the beaches. And John says, hi, Ray Toller. Okay, I didn't see Ray T in here. I should have said hi to Ray T. What else we got here? I did get a few pictures here and there. Some of them I probably won't put up unless people give me permission. With some of the stuff especially on my channel, there's 4 or 5 channels that use this channel, and it wouldn't matter what I say or do. They seem to put a different light on it and repeat it, and I don't want to put people through that. If I have some there places I might put those up. The talking, you can always come back to my channel and see what I really said. You don't have to listen to AI or see me all scrunched up or doing something that's not. AI destroys the videos as far as I'm concerned, and I don't plan on using anything like that anytime soon. Let's see. Joy says she loves the Gulf Coast beaches. See, I lived in Houston and I lived in Louisiana, and I spent a lot of time out on the Gulf when I lived in those 2 states. Back then, we had a pretty good sized boat, and we did a lot of fishing. Spent a lot of time on the weekends doing stuff like that. Most of my work back then was nuclear plants. And in Houston, I worked in an office, but I flew all over the country checking job sites and stuff. So it was a fun time when we were down there. We loved every bit of it. If my wife was still alive, she would have loved what was going on in Florida when I went down there. Matter of fact, we probably would have stayed longer if my wife was with me. March and April. Yeah, actually, when we left down there, the beginning of June, but we'd already had quite a few days of in the 90s. But at least in the mornings and the evenings, you could sit outside and have a pretty good day. And if you want to go out for evening meal, nothing to go out, 5:30, 6 o'clock. And then when you get done with your meal, you can come back and sit outside and have a good time. At Lisa's, they have a lanai on the front of the house right beside the garage. And there's a table sits there with, chairs all the way around it. And so we just sit out there and a fan running. You can say hi to people as they're walking by and sit there with your cold drinks and really have a good time. There's a TV out there too. It's not as big as the one in the house, but it's up close where you can see it and hear it okay. And the garage she's got fixed up into a studio. Quite an arrangement there. I could never handle it. There's more there than I could remember how to work. McD said, "Hi Ray, so happy to have caught your life. I'm happy you're in here." Yeah, John Sims says he loves that white sand in the Gulf. It's something. It really is. It's and the hotels and stuff along the beaches usually take pretty good care of them. They've got equipment out there that kind of rake through it just about every evening, I think. And also, I've stayed at in North and South Carolina out there at the beaches, and I was there during spring break one time as well. I had kind of like a studio apartment right on the beach there. It was nice. Bearded, glad to see you on here. You passed right by me. I'm sorry, Bearded. I didn't know that. I see you're up above here now. Quite a few times there when you were saying hi to everybody. So, but I found you on there. See, that's what happens when I talk. It's hard to do two things at the same time. So that's why I don't walk and talk at the same time. I trip. You're right. I tripped over you, and now I see you. So I'm back on my feet. Diane says you have a great tan. Thanks. It's a farmer's tan. Let's see. See that? I wore t-shirts down there or short sleeve shirts the whole time, so I've got the good old farmer's tan on me. Now, my daughter, the first week, she was out there in the sun quite a bit, and my son-in-law, man, I'll tell you what, he turned red. They were trying to hurry up their tans, and they had a good time. I can't tell you how much I appreciate the two of them. They gave up so much just so I could take some time down there in Florida. I owe them a lot, as well as the people that put up with us while we were down there. I mean, the red carpet was out no matter where we went, and I really love all of you that I got to see down there. I can't say enough for you. I made friends for life, and so glad you were there. Diane, you have a great. Oh yeah, I just got C on there. Well, you sent a bunch of emails. Well, I must have missed some of them, Bearded. I'll have to go back and look at my emails. I didn't go through a lot of stuff while I was down there, Bearded. I was trying to get away from things that put my mind back into the sour notes, and a lot of it had to do with, the past court system, and obviously the things that happened to me during the year down there that had nothing to do with the court system. But I'm glad some of that's behind me. Says, one thing I'm happy about your stay in Florida is that you didn't have drama from certain people from other channels. No cameras in your face and no harassment. Everything worked out good, Mike. I can't tell you how much was lifted off my shoulder. And it wasn't all just the drama. It was the heartaches I went through, on a personal basis back here last year. It was, there's no words to describe it. And it certainly put me in a different mode and a different mood and different directions. And, when I come back here, I had a lot of things I had to take care of. There's bills are always waiting for you. Good Lord knows. Everybody wants money. The bill collectors are there. The day you get in your house, I went and collected my mail. Big stack. And I went through it. It was either junk mail or bills. Anyway, it's all taken care of. And I can smile now after wading through that junk. Wow. Oh, it'd be worth it if somebody could just take that away from me, where I wouldn't have those bills. I could be like a kid again. I always say that as you get older, it's like being a child again, because you don't have the same worries you had when you're growing up with your kids. When you had kids and you had to worry about job and roof over the head and all that. And when you're a teenager, your parents took care of all that. You didn't know how good you had it till you had to step in their shoes for a while. And then when you retire, like I am, and hopefully you put a little bit away so you don't have to worry too much about money. You worry a little bit about having enough, that obviously. But it's not like it was when you're raising your children. A much easier life. And it's up to you how much fun you want to have at that point. And you don't have to answer to anybody, pretty much. My wife and I were true partners, so it wasn't a matter of answering to each other. It was like one person. One liked, usually the other one liked it too. And if they didn't, they were willing to put up with whatever it was. No worries, Bearded says. I understand 100%. No worries, brother. God bless you, man. Well, God bless you too, Bearded. Yeah, you're right, Mike. You can take a vacation, but you can't take a vacation from bills. No, they're unforgiving. If you're an hour late, man, you're going to get a notice and a bill. It gets higher. I had one that I was trying to pay over the telephone, and the telephone company that I've been using was U.S. Cellular, and now it's T-Mobile. And they changed it while I guess it was in May, but I was down there when the bill came in. And I tried to pay it, and they didn't want to take my money. So I was ready to drop it and just take something else. Just say to hell with it. If you want to take my money, I'm not going to deal with you. Well, they finally took it. There was a number that apparently that is in some paperwork they sent me while I went down there. So I didn't have the paperwork. Anyway, now I've got everything straightened out with them, and I pay it over the telephone. I don't have to worry. That doesn't mean I'm not upset with them, because if I can get a better deal and go back to a different company, I'll do it. Barry says, retirement it's made all, oh, man, it could work again. I'll do it in a heartbeat, I hate being disabled and not being able to work. I hate it. Well, what you can do, Beard, is just being able to get around in life itself. You have to be happy with what you're doing, and you look like a pretty happy person. So I'm sure the good Lord has things for you, and you seem to have a lot of good sayings out there and a good attitude towards life itself. So I'm glad to call you a friend. McD, just had retirement money talk with my hubby today, as we look forward to retirement very soon. When I retired, I tried to find somebody that handles that kind of stuff and could help you make a decision. And it was hard to find people that really knew what it takes to be retired. But what it really came down to was trying to make sure you have enough money base, along with your Social Security, if you're on Social Security, and make sure you have a good insurance. And before my wife and I retired, we did the remodeling that needed to be done to the house, put a new roof and new air conditioner, new furnace. We bought a motorhome. We waited 6 months after we retired before we bought the motorhome, but we had the money put away way before we retired. We had it pigeonholed just for that so we could travel. We bought a car a year before we retired, different car, because I figured that I probably would never wear a car out once I retired. And that car we bought is in my garage, and it looks like a brand new car. Now, granted, it's got some miles on it. I think it's 88 or 89,000 maybe on it. We didn't drive it all that much per year. I've been retired 16 years. We bought it 17, almost 18 years ago. We bought it, and it's a nice one. It's a Lincoln MKX. It's one of those SUV crossovers or whatever they call them. And I love driving it, so I still got it. It's an older car, but nothing wrong with it. It still smells like new. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Bearded. Well, I think I've been looking a little bit. If I ever buy another one, I'll keep my truck no matter what. I love my pickup, this one that I just bought. I think if I buy a sedan, it'll probably be one of those EVs, as long as it'll get somewhere around 300 miles per charge. They're not the best thing to have up north here. They don't operate as well when it's cold weather. But then when you're down south, you got to use the air conditioner, and that eats up the electricity too. They're just not. They just don't go far enough on a charge, and you have to sit a long time to get them charged fully. Usually, you can get them charged 80% pretty quick, but that last 20% takes a long time. If you can find a charger that works, and if you can find one that fits the car you have. There's a lot of things that they haven't caught up with on those electric EVs yet. Kim says she just got through doing all that to her house. Yeah, hey, and I did put new storms on the house too. It never. Most of that you can take care of though before you retire. It's a good deal. Just do it. If you can get in your house and spend the next 20 years without spending a major amount of money, that's a good deal. Because the money that you save, and the way my wife and I did it, we figured that inflation would eat up about 2.5% to 3% of our base money for buying power. And for the most part, that worked out pretty good. Now, during the last administration before this one, the inflation was more than I had from the time I retired up to that point. We lost over 1/3 of our buying power during that 4 years. And it scared the heck out of my wife and I. And we had to cut a lot of corners. We changed our diet considerably. And we didn't take off and do as many things. And along with that, we had the pandemic. And there was it did make a difference on our retirement. Now, we did change things around enough so that I'm not worried about running out of things. It's just that back then I was kind of upper middle class financially. Now I'm lucky to be lower middle class. I'm not going to starve, and I'm not going to lose my house. And things like that at this point. But if I have another 4 years where I lose 30% of my buying power, it'll be down to counting nickels. So, and it wasn't, I don't know. I don't know if anybody could have helped it back then. We had a lot of things going against the administration. One of them was COVID. So, yeah, Monica, I understand. I don't think the electric car, I don't think they're going to be able to make one that can actually make their own electricity to the point of where it'll generate enough to run. They have some that do actually, they're so light and they're not comfortable. There are all kinds of things wrong with them that are like college have sponsored where they've run them across the country, but nothing that could be run commercially. Tina, it was great meeting you at Lisa's party. Oh, glad. It was good to meet you too. Yeah. Yeah, and your husband. You guys were a lot of fun. I'm glad to have met you there. Let's see. I'm trying to get all that done before I retire. I have a good 7 years left. Yeah, what you got to do is try to plan it so most of it's done that year that you retire, just before it, so that when you actually call it quits on working, everything is pretty new. And I'm talking about stove, refrigerator, all that stuff. Most of our house had been remodeled. Now, before my wife passed away, the last 2 years, we'd started remodeling the lower part of the house. This is a split foyer home. And we had a family room down there, mainly just for TV. And we had finished it about 6 months before my wife passed away. And I haven't used it, so it's like brand new down there. There's a new TV, and I've got what they call those Hannah chairs. I don't know if they're leather or pleather or what they are. They lean back, and you got a stool you put your feet up on. And I've got a antique, what they call the ice cream table, wherever it was from way back in the 20s. My wife had found it, about 40 years ago, and we redid it, and we've had it in the 4 chairs that match all that time, and it's ideal for down there in that family room. So it's down there. And we put in new carpet, it's that type that pets can't damage. I probably should start using it a little bit. I just haven't went down there too much. I spend my time on just up here, I guess. Well, I'll just have to find reasons to start using it. Yeah. They're actually, water is H2O, hydrogen and 2 oxygen. And it takes so much to separate them to make it worthwhile. Right now, it's not feasible for to do it on a large scale. Now, they do have hydrogen cars out there, by the way. California actually has a couple of stations out there. They push the heck out of it. But so far, they haven't caught on, Bearden. Joy says, I'm retiring at the end of the month. Oh, my goodness. Well, I hope you have a good time. Retirement can be one of the best times of your life. I think the best time is probably when you're a teenager, when you're just starting to learn things and you think you know it all. But retirement, especially if you plan your retirement out, you'll You'll love it. I can just guarantee it. You grab a hold of it and enjoy every bit of it. Well, Bearded, the in real terms, the hydrogen car sounds quite a bit. I mean, out of water, and they used to have steam cars that they used fossils, fossil like coal or wood could run, make your steam engine run, things like that. And it was cheap, if not almost free back then. The separating water, we already have a big water problem. Can you imagine if we turned water into hydrogen and oxygen? We don't have enough from in the West for people to drink right now. And it's getting less every day. If you read up out there, you're going to see what I mean. We would be almost completely out of water here in the United States if we actually could use water and break it down to use it to supply power to our vehicles and anything that's using fossil fuels at this time. You can do Uber rides for the warriors in the United States, taking them to Florida on road trips. That's a good idea. Something that is a good idea, Bearded. You need to look into that a little bit. I think that you would be surprised how many people would love to have somebody else do the driving, and if you had a route to take them and could put them in hotels and motels along the way, people like to sit in the back seat and just enjoy the scenery. Oh, Miss Lori, I see you down there. I'm glad you stopped in, Miss Lori. All right, Bearded, I'm looking forward to your email. Yeah, I know the data centers are quite a deal. I've seen a few of them. In the very beginning when they were making small ones, I actually ended up with a crew building a small size data center. And I've been involved with them with conglomerates, grocery stores and stuff where headquarters actually is a data center or part of it. They are a big deal because of, John, you said ta-ta? You still got work to do. Okay. John, I'm glad you stopped in for a while. It's good to hear from you. Let me tell you something, Bearded, just to give you a little piece of things to look at. Now, there's a lot of people out there say we're still the powerhouse of the world. I want you to think about this. China is a manufacturing powerhouse of the entire world. And during our pandemic, you couldn't get paper suits to wear, paper masks. Most of your electronics come from China. Reparts for your cars come from China. How long do you think it takes them to make a ship in one of their shipyards? One of the shipyards. They knock a ship out every week for commercial use. It takes us a year and a half at least to make one ship. And they're doing it in a week in their assembly lines. Now, they had something on TV the other day, and I watched it. That isn't bullshit. It's real stuff. It's been a long time since we were the powerhouse in the world. The path that we're following is similar to Rome. We got so big and so powerful that we hired everything out and didn't do the work ourselves. When Rome did that, the people that they hired to work took over the country, and there was no more Rome. That was, and they were much more powerful than what we are, carried so much ground and so many people. So it happens. And in the United States here, we gave up our manufacturing starting, and Japan showed us how they could be a powerhouse in the financial world. Out of the 10 biggest banks in the world, they had 7 of them, financial institutions. That's an island, Japan. Than we'll probably ever have. And they're putting it to use right now. To think that they hubs in the entire world would be very foolish. If we want to be a powerhouse, we have to be able to make our own way in this world. We have to make our products. If you specialize in one thing and it sounds like it's great, you really need things that are balanced, like a balanced farm, a farm that has grain and animals both on there, and not over an abundance of either, so that they don't ruin the ground, but they keep it up. I know it sounds illogical to do things like that, but I remember what it was like in the 50s, how things worked. A 100-acre farm would easily take care of a family of 6. Today, 100 acres, if that's all you've got, you're going to have to work 1 or 2 jobs besides that farm. You can't make it on there as much as it pays. It's pretty hard. We lost sight of what it takes. We had so much money through the 60s and 70s, and we wanted so much for our children so they wouldn't have to work as hard as we did. We didn't give them what they needed to learn how to work. Matter of fact, most laws are against anything. If you put your child out there with a power lawnmower, that's actually against the law. Back when I was a kid, I built my own lawnmower. I had a lawn business, and I shoveled walks in the wintertime and pulled weeds. I broke coal up for people that had to break their coal up to use it in their furnaces or their stoves. So, and I did chores for older people, like, if they needed like kerosene or something, I'd go up to the gas stations and carry kerosene back in 1 gallon. Back then they were in gallon jars. But things are different today. Children aren't taught how to work or to make their own business. My grandmother taught me what it was like to be in business. She gave me the basics and the want to be my own boss. She did that. She inspired me. And same way with my brothers. She made doilies. We would sell them door to door, and then give her enough money. She would give us a certain amount, and then the money's left over would buy more thread for more doilies. It worked out. She loved to do that. That's what kept her busy, and it gave us a few pennies in our pocket. They didn't sell for a lot of money back then. But if I had a nickel, I could buy a Danish roll at the bakery. I could have a bottle of pop at the store. There's a lot of things I could buy with it. Candy bars, big candy bars for a nickel. It's not like that today. And our children are playing with something like this. When I was young, we couldn't wait to go outside and go out and do things out there. We made forts, stuff like that. We went fishing. We had a creek just less than 100 yards from the door. Children don't have that at their hands today. They're taught differently how to do things. And I don't know if they're going to be able to think for themselves when they get up there in age, at a time when they need it, when they need that sense, that logical sense up here. They're going to depend on something like this to do it for them. Hey, Okie, I see you down there. Glad to see you in here. Milltown, glad to see you on here. Welcome aboard. I'm just trying to explain how things have changed with people. Amazed me how much knowledge has been lost in just a generation. This is Miss Lori putting that. Growing stuff, reserves, building stuff, flying stuff, sad. And all those things can be learned pretty easily. And being able to put your own food stock away, it means a lot. It saves a lot. The wife, the women of the house would usually take care of canning and a lot of the gardens and stuff. It wasn't that they didn't work. They worked night and day. Women went from in the house working to in the factories and worked because families thought that you got to have the greenbacks, the coins. Well, the shelves of canning, those are things that not only did you do with your own hands, you were in business. You were running your own business. You ran the household. You took care of a large scale business as a woman back in the all the way from the beginning of the century, of 19th century, all the way through it. You were the backbone of the family, the woman was. Today, the men and women are both out of the house working and somebody else is raising the children. You don't have, any canned goods you have came from the store. It doesn't taste as good. It's not as good for you. And you don't have the appreciation of having done it with your own hands. When you're doing that, you are a business owner. My wife's grandmother, bless her heart, she had as much stuff as a mom and pop store in her basement. And she shared all of it. People back then shared their goods, traded and all kinds of stuff. Today, we've lost that ability. And some of it, we've lost the will to do it. We think there's something wrong if we have to do it with our own hands. I can tell you, there's nothing wrong with it. We grew up, we did the work on our cars ourselves. We didn't take them to a mechanic. We did it at home. And sometimes we did it together. I helped my dad from the time I was 4 or 5 years old. We'd get wrenches for him, whatever it took. I knew all that stuff because he taught me. I couldn't lift blocks up, obviously, but I could help him. And that was enough. And I loved doing that. And I still do today. I love the mechanical work. Ren said, "I'm back. I'm watching on TV. My phone is stuck at 1% on charger." Uh-oh. So he says, "Our society has become so disposable high in everything, including marriage." Yes. We thought that if a woman worked in a factory, that our life would change because we'd have twice the income. And I can tell you that is not true. Okay. When you're not in the house, who's running the house? Or who did you hire to run in the house? And how much money did you really make? The old pioneer gal out there that took care of the household, she was the boss of the house, believe me. And what she contributed, if you were to add it up on a piece of paper, was a huge amount of money. And all you gals out there, once you have a couple of kids, I'm just telling you, that babysitter takes a big chunk out of a paycheck if you're out there working in a factory somewhere or in an office. The pleasure of being your own boss is unbelievable. And somebody took it away from the women here in the United States, the privilege of them being their own boss by putting them in a factory and letting them work in a factory when they did such a good job in the home and contributed every bit, half of what the income is in labor alone. And if you wanted to hire somebody that could take the place of a wife that raises children, does all the cooking, does the canning, it would cost you more than you're making in a factory. You have to look at everything in the right perspective. And I know everybody needs a career. You were taught that in school, but that's unfortunately the best way is the way it was always done from years ago. And families were happy. There was plenty of food. They were a lot happier when a child comes home and mom's there with a glass of milk and a cookie. How do you think they feel? They're hungrier than heck. And they come in that door and they smell that stuff coming from the oven. There's nothing to describe how good it is. Helen says she agrees. I'm glad you're listening, Helen. Joy says they don't make cars you can fix anymore. But Joy, I'm in my 80s, okay, and I can read an electrical schematic, and I've got equipment out here so that I can tell somewhat what's wrong with a car. And I have this little piece of instrument here that I can take that and go on to it and get most of it and figure it out. I still do almost all my own work. Now, my son-in-law, he's more than willing to come over and help. He's a mechanic, a great one, by the way. Anything I didn't know, I could call him up and he would show me what to do. And he's more than willing to help when it's a two-man job, something like that. Sometimes you have to have help to get through that. The cars that they make break down easily. They're full of computers and modules and things like that. But you can take them out and replace those things. They're expensive. When you take a car into the garage, they're going to charge you $400 just to tell you what's wrong with it, just to hook it up. I've got the equipment out here. I paid less than $1,000 for what I've got, and I can plug it in and do the same thing. I have to do a little bit of mental work on it to figure it out, but I get it done. So you can do whatever your mind, what you're set to do, I can tell you. And in the future, if we end up with electric cars, they're a lot simpler than what a gas-fired car is today. An electrical car will be much easier to work on. You'll be able to plug in. It'll give you the electrical schematic out there of where the problem is. You'll have to replace something here and there, and you're back on the road. The electrical cars of today, they're built, I think, if it wasn't for the fact that you can't go very far, they would be the absolute best way to go. And I hope they solve the problem of the batteries. I just hope they do. Oh, the other thing, Joy, what you do is like I did. I bought that old pickup out there, and it's like brand new. I'll have to show you on here one of these days. It's a 2002 Ford Ranger half-ton. It's Laramie, what do you call it? Laramie interior. It's got the leather and all that stuff. Beautiful truck, 20 years old, 61,000 miles. That truck will run 200,000 miles easily before it has to be taken away. You can still get bargains like that. So if you want a new car every year, well, then that's a little different. But if you don't mind an older one that's like new and keep it that way, then that's a great thing. Back when I was a kid, a teenager, we changed the motor in about an hour. It cost us about $50-$60 for a used motor. We throw it in there and off and we were going. And it would be nice if we could go back to that. The government won't let us. They say that it causes too much pollution, but who knows? Let's see. They don't want you to fix it yourself. No, they really don't. But it's not as hard as you think. And the people that are in there fixing those cars, there's not that many in a shop that really know how to fix them. You'll have a person that coordinates things in there, but really what it comes down to is somebody else telling another one how to do things, and somebody telling 3 or 4 people how to work. They need to invent a better, safer battery source. I agree with that. These batteries are dangerous, and when they short out, you can't put the fire out. And it is extremely hot. It's instantly over 2,000 degrees. If you're sitting on that battery, you're cooked. And guess where the battery sits in these new cars? The entire bottom is all batteries. So, yeah, you get in a car accident, can't get out of that car, you're in trouble. Well, I hope everybody had a good time, and I hope the live went over okay. Probably got a little boring. I don't know. But I did want you to think I forgot anybody back here. It's been a long time since I was able to get on here and talk with you. Says Kimberly says, my nephew used to work for Telsa, as pretty much a mobile mechanic. He said he was busy every day. He helped build rockets now. Yeah. I'll bet you the vehicles he worked on were actually probably a little easier to work on than what today's gas engine is. Today's cars, they've made them complicated with the electronics. They don't need to be that complicated. But our government standards keep saying we want them better, better, better because of the green people. And it's never good enough. Well, the problem is that never good enough costs you a lot of money out of your pocket. These cars today could probably be cost half as much and get a lot better gas mileage. You take the anti-pollution stuff on there, and you would find out that car would run better, be lighter. The big thing is we're going to run out of fossil fuels someday. Then what are we going to do? So we need to be more economical in how we use our stuff, and that includes those cars. Those batteries, they have lithium batteries. Most of our stuff comes from China, and that's going to be a hindrance to us one of these days, guaranteed. It was during COVID, if you remember how hard it was to get products. Granny says, best ever live. Glad to hear about your great visit. I'm glad, Granny. I would recommend that anybody wants to just relax and really, truly get away. And my daughter will attest to this, and so will my son-in-law, to be able to forget things for a little while. You go where you have nothing on your agenda that has to be done. No schedule. You don't say, I have to be at the restaurant at 5 o'clock. You get at the restaurant, you figure it out on your time. It's your time, right? That's what a vacation is for. And that's what we did. And I love that part of it, that you get refreshed. My daughter was refreshed after a few days and admittedly says she loved doing it too. It's been a long time since her and her husband could just leave everything and forget and just go do what you want. Don't get hooked into something that you have to do. Vacations are for what you want to do. So, Monica says, wonderful library. Thank you. Kimberly says, I hate schedules. So do I. You know what? The first thing I did, see this thing? This is my telephone. I put that up on my shelf when I retired. First thing, my billfold, I took it and put it up there too. Didn't need my billfold unless I was going to go do something. All I had to do was remember to grab it before I went out the door, but I didn't carry it in my back pocket. Didn't have my telephone on me. I didn't put it in my pocket. I'm not married to that telephone. I put it away. And during vacation, the only time I put it in my pocket was because I was on the road going to a grocery store or a restaurant in case I'd break down. That's the only reason I carried that with me. I knew if somebody called me, I could always call them back. So if I left it there at the trailer, that's fine. We walk around the resort there. We do anything we wanted. We went to Silver Springs. I don't know if any of you ever heard of Silver Springs. Man, it was beautiful. There's places where it was over 50 foot deep. We even seen a cave. It didn't look like a cave from up above, but that water only looked like it was a foot or two deep. It was so crystal clear. And it was at one end there, it was around 70 year round. The other end, it was 72. Can you imagine? I would love to have a house, near something like that. And the beautiful park all kept up around that area. They actually have monkeys in that park. Not where I was at, but they've been there for years and years and years. They're known for it. Alligators, all kinds of wildlife, birds and stuff. It was wonderful, wonderful. Let's see. Granny says her son retired in March. He's been traveling with his wife ever since. Boy, I'm glad to hear that, because retirement's the time to see the places that you never seen before and just enjoy it. Our country is blessed with more places to see, I think, than most countries will ever have. It's there if you really want it. I love this country and always have. All it took was a trip overseas, and when I come home, I was ready to kiss the ground. And it wasn't that I enjoyed other countries, because I certainly did. Oh, yeah. See, that darn telephone was ringing. Oh, heck. Yeah, Granny, I'm glad you enjoyed me talking about the trip. But everybody needs to get out and just travel somewhere. Pick a spot and say, I'm going. This was just a whim at the time. My daughter said that she would like to go, and she was willing to help me on the trip. And she went home and talked to, with her family about it. And then it came, we did it, and I know they enjoyed it. I'll bet you if I asked them to do the same thing next year, they probably would. I hate to put it off on another family to have to help me out, but it's very hard for me to do it all by myself. To have company, man, it was great. I know I was selfish to have to do that, but I can tell you, I think they enjoyed it too. So, hit the thumbs up. Yeah. Well, listen, we'll have to get together again on another live. If you don't mind lives where we can just kind of BS back and forth a little bit, I'll put one up once in a while. The only rules I really have, and they're not stuck in, I don't want to get back into any mudslinging if we can help it. And I don't mind anybody that wants to defend themselves. That's fine. I just don't, I'm trying to keep in as good a mood as I can. So BS, there's so many people out there that hate, and we don't need to be part of that world. We really don't. The less we can mess with that, the better off we are. There's some people out there that deserve what's coming. And I'm not going to tell you all the things that might be in the works, but those people, they've pushed too many buttons. That's all I can say. The buttons I'm going to push in the future, they're going to be to get somebody to enjoy themselves in retirement. Those kind of buttons. That's the buttons I want to push. And my neighbors around here, they've got some plans for me too, to do little things here and there. So, and of course, it's getting towards that time. I've got physicals coming up, different visits. I got the optician that's got to check my eyes out. I got to go down and take it to the DOT bureau or whatever it is, and get my license renewed. And I'm back just in time for all that stuff. Doggone it. Person that's retired shouldn't have to do any of that. Okay. Is that Taryn? How do you pronounce that? Anyway, hi, I see you on there. Yeah, my daughter, I think she got some good memories from going down there, and she made some good friends down there as well. So it worked out for everybody. My son-in-law met people that knew about different things that he did. He was in a band for quite a few years. My son-in-law was, and anytime you talk about bands from back in that era, I mean, he's right on it. And he actually, it was Robbie gave him a keepsake that he really enjoyed, and he's able to get a picture of Robbie had a leather jacket that belonged to somebody in the band way back then. Robbie was around a lot of famous people, by the way, over the years, really famous. And him and my son-in-law got to talk a lot about stuff like that. So And actually talked to Lisa about a lot of famous people as well. Lisa knows a lot of people around this United States and around the world, quite frankly. So there's more there than what you think on all these people that are in the chats. They don't always give you their whole history. They have so much, it would be hard to share it all because they've just been that many places. People that have been all over the United States and all over the world are full of knowledge. And it's just so good to sit down with them and talk about it. And we were able to do that. At the campground, or the resort, they call it there, there was a guy that actually lived in the same town I did. He was one of the, I think he was one of the fire department chief, something like that. And then there was another guy from near the area where I was at too, down, when I grew up. So it's amazing how many people you see that have traveled the same ground you have, and they'll have their own stories. So any of you that are getting ready to retire and you get to travel, you're going to get to talk to a lot of people that have stories similar to yours, and you're going to enjoy them, I'll guarantee you. And I think you can tell that I feel better than I did. And even though I miss my wife tremendously, I can't help what's already done. The good Lord chose to bring her home. And I look forward to the day that I'll join her. But I'm not too worried at this point of where I'm headed. If I can just keep my nose clean until then, then maybe the good angel will keep me on the right track till then. But for all of you out there, I want you to have a good day. And you make mine better just by coming in here and talking over some of this stuff. It does help a lot. And maybe we can help each other by having some fun on here from time to time in a live. As far as people coming in and trying to destroy things like this, don't worry about it. That's just what they do. They can only destroy what we allow them to destroy. And that's real terms. And being able to ignore it all for 6 weeks was just wonderful. So I wish all of you a good day. And I'm so happy that you came in here a little bit. I'm glad you came in here to help keep things as a mod in here. You were here in the beginning and right to the end. I'm so happy that you did. And you did that without a notice out there and everything else. This was the spur of the moment. So with that, I think it's time to just call it a day. So I'd say see you soon, hopefully. I don't see my button here to take it down. Where did that go? Holy mackerel. Until next time, though, I'll see you then. Sorry you had to make dinner for the hubby. He had dialysis, is always starving. Ooh, yeah. I know there was a few years back, I had to take infusion therapy, and I had to sit with a lot of people that had dialysis. It was in the same room. We'd see each other every week until I got through that mess, but that's been a few years back. All right, everybody. Talk to you later if I can figure out how to. Oh, here we go. My button's in a different place. I don't know why they did that. John says ta-ta. Remember a little bit ago? All right. Let's use John's way of saying ta-ta. So there it is.